Boris Nemtsov had received death threats before, but he brushed them aside and said if he were afraid, he wouldn't be leading an opposition party. On Friday evening, just before midnight, he was killed near the Kremlin, shot 4 times from a passing car.
He was big, handsome, bright and talented, the very kind that they kill. We needed him very much.
This is a new spiral in Russia's descent into a fascist state. In our opinion, the mastermind of this crime is obvious. It is a political murder of one of the brightest opposition politicians.
Nemtsov was killed just 2 days before he was supposed to lead an opposition march in Moscow. Now there is anger within the opposition movement, and some are calling his death an assassination. This was a man once considered to be a potential successor to former President Boris Yeltsin, but instead Yeltsin chose a little-known spy chief called Vladimir Putin, and Nemtsov's future became one of opposition. But the opposition he fought so hard for had recently found it harder and harder to make itself heard in an increasingly patriotic, anti-Western Russia. President Vladimir Putin offered his condolences and called the murder a provocation. He ordered a full investigation into Nemtsov's death, but those who knew the opposition leader say the government did nothing to protect him when he received threats. Before he died, Nemtsov was working on a report that he believed proved Russia has been directly involved in the separatist rebellion in eastern Ukraine. He also criticised what he called the government's inefficiency and corruption. The opposition wants a march planned for Sunday to now be a rally to mourn a man they saw as a voice attempting to hold the government accountable. Now, if you want a symbolic location for a killing, this is it. It's basically about 20 meters from the walls of the Kremlin itself, and that brings a particularly political atmosphere to this murder. The people who've come here to pay their respects feel that it's very unlikely we'll ever know the truth about what happened to Boris Nemtsov. But it's also worth remembering that this is a man who not everyone in Russia saw as a saint or a saviour or a great hope. I was at a rally just a week ago where people were coming out onto the street, thousands and thousands of people, to say that essentially what happened in Kiev last year, that bloody revolution, was something that should never happen here in Russia. For those people, and there are a lot of them in Russia, Boris Nemtsov was not a liberal hero, he was a dangerous force. They considered him potentially a traitor, and it's worth remembering that this was a very divisive figure.